hearing the explanation of Vedanta Sutra from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Mayavadi sannyasi of Benares. Uh, there are two kinds of Mayavadi. The word Mayavadi is very significant. I saw yesterday in your isthe, you have tried to understand what is this Mayavadi. Mayavadi means materialist. Maya, this matter, the external energy, the inferior energy. And those who want to stick to this inferior energy, never mind what class of philosopher, what section of philosopher they belong. If their idea is only within the boundary of this material energy, they are called Mayavadi. They have no information of the spiritual energy. They are called Mayavadi. So, chiefly the impersonalist and the void philosophers, they are called Mayavadi. Because they have no other information. They want to simply negate, nullify, but they have no positive information. They are called Mayavadi. So the Shankarites of course, they give positive information. Brahma Sattva Jagan Mithya. They say that this world is false and Brahma is reality. But because we want reality in variety, therefore impersonal philosophy, although we take it as a matter of sectarian philosophy, it does not appeal to the heart. Because by nature we want enjoyment. And whenever there is question of enjoyment, there must be variety. Variety is the mother of enjoyment. So, philosophically or theoretically, we may accept whiteness, negation, out of frustration. When we are frustrated in these material varieties, we adopt the suicidal policy. Let me commit suicide, finish. This is called Mayava. Actual spiritual variegatedness, unless one is informed about it and one is situated in spiritual varieties, there is no satisfaction. So the Mayavadi philosophers of Benares, after hearing the explanation of Vedanta Sutra from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are very much satisfied. Sei haite sannyasi fire gelo. Their mind turned. Oh, this is the real explanation. Krishna Krishna Nam Sada Kare Grahan. Now they also began to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. এই মতে তাসাবার ক্ষমি অপরাধ সবাকারে কৃষ্ণ নাম করিল প্রসাদ. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu excused all these offenders. Anyone who is godless is offender. So when they chanted Krishna Krishna and accepted the Vedanta philosophy according to the explanation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he excused them. That is the significance of Lord Chaitanya. He is very merciful. He excuses. Without excuse, how he can deliver the fallen souls of this age? Their condition is very precarious. Their duration of life is very small and they are not very intelligent, very slow to understand their importance of spiritual life, and even they are little advanced, they are under the clutches of so many so-called bogus societies. Therefore, their condition is very precarious, and so there is no other alternative than to excuse them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu excused them. তবে সকল সন্ন্যাসী মহাপ্রভুকে লইয়া ভিক্ষা করিলেন সবে মধ্যে বসাইয়া. Then all the sannyasis placing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the middle, and according to Indian system of dining, you are accustomed, they sit in a line, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was requested to sit in the middle, and thus they took prasadam. তবে সকল সন্ন্যাসী মহাপ্রভুকে লইয়া ভিক্ষা করিলেন সবে মধ্যে বসায়. ভিক্ষা করি মহাপ্রভু আইল বাসা ঘর, হেন চিত্র লীলা করে গৌরাঙ্গ সুন্দর. So after taking prasadam, he came back to his place, and for him it was a great victory that he conquered the mind of the Mayavadi sannyasi by explanation of Vedanta Sutra. So, his, friend Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra and Sanatana Goswami, they were very much pleased. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had only 3 or 4 followers at Benares. Of course, when he was on the street, hundreds and thousands of people gathered around him, but actually in his residence there are 3-4 followers only. Tapan Mishra, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Sanatana Goswami, and one Maharashtrian Brahmin. They were very much pleased. Naturally, their Lord was victorious in that great assembly of sannyasi, and naturally they were very much pleased. প্রভুকে দেখিতে আইলা সকল সন্ন্যাসী, প্রভুর প্রশংসা করে সব বারাণসী. Naturally, he attracted the attention of many other sannyasi, and they began to come and see him and offer their respect. And throughout the whole city of Benares, his name was immediately advertised. Though such a great sannyasi has come, he has explained Vedanta Sutra in a different way, which has captured the mind of all other Mayavadi sannyasi, because Benares is a city of pilgrimage. It is not ordinary city. Mostly the person who reside in Benares, their retired life for cultivating spiritual consciousness, but they are almost 10% impersonalist. প্রভুর প্রশংসা করে সব বারাণসী. বারাণসী পুরী আইলা শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য, পুরী সহ সর্ব হইল মহাধন্য. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited this city of Mayavadi sannyasis. By his mercy, all of them became glorified. লক্ষ লক্ষ লোক আসে প্রভুকে দেখিতে, মহাভীর হইল দ্বারে নারে প্রবেশিতে. So many thousands of people gathered before his house, and they wanted to see him, but due to the crowd, some of them could not enter into the house. Then প্রভু যাবে জান বিশ্বেশ্বর দর্শনে, লক্ষ লক্ষ লোক আসে মিলে সেই স্থানে. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go to the temple of Vishesha at Benares. The most famous temple is Vishesha. That is Lord Shiva's temple. Because this place, Benares, is the place of Lord Shiva. Just like Vrindavan is the place of Lord Krishna, Ajodhya is the place of Lord Rama. So there are different places in India. So Benares is a place of Lord Shiva and is known there as Visheshwar. It is very old city. It is the Kashi. The real name is Kashi, and it is coming from the Satyayuga. It is not new city. It is very old city, Satyayuga. There, Maharaj Harishchandra, he was the king of this, and Harishchandra happens to be previous to Lord Ramachandra, so it is very old city. So, Visheshwar Sthane, Snan Karite Sabe Jan Ganga Jabe Gan Ganga Tire, Tahai Sakale Lok Hoy Mahavire. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to the Ganges to take his bath, and after taking bath he used to visit the temple of Visheshwar in the morning. So at that time, hundreds of people gathered round him. Bahutule Prabhu Vale Balo Hari Hari, Haridhani Karelo Sadgamatta. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's special feature, as you see in the picture, he would simply raise his hands and ask anybody to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the people will, in the crowd, they will also respond to Lord Chaitanya. So in this way, at Benares, he was enjoying. Bahutuli Prabhu Vale Bala Hari Hari, Haridhani Kare Lok Sadgamartha Hari. And the sound of Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, that becomes, there are two slogans. One Hare Krishna, and another short is Hari Bol, Hari Bol. You can practice also that. Hari Bol. Yes. Hari. There is shortcut of Hare Krishna. Yes. Hari Bol. Hari Bol means the sound of Hari or the Lord. Hari Bol. So, whenever there was some greeting, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to answer, raising his hand, Hari Bol. Bahutali Prabhu Bale, Bala Hari Hari, Haridhani Kare Lok Sadgamatta Hari. Log Nistarya Prabhu, Chalita Hailaman, Vrindavane Pathaila Sri Sanatana. Now, and at this time, Sanatana Goswami arrived to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu after retirement from his government service. So he taught him for 2 months about the science of devotion and the principles of devotion. We have discussed to a certain extent, and we shall again discuss. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught personally Sanatana Goswami what is Krishna, what is Krishna, what is Krishna consciousness, what is the position of the living entity, what is this word, all these things he has very nicely taught Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, these two brothers are authorities of the disciple succession of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Log Nistarya Prabhu Chalita Hailamon Vrindavane Pathaila Sri Sanatana. Now, after teaching Sanatana Goswami, he asked him that you go to Vrindavan, because he was returning to Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu authorized. You have seen the picture of Vrindavan in that catalogue. What is that book you have brought from library? No, that's all right. Oh, you have forgotten your book? Library book? Huh? Oh, who brought that book there? It is lying in my room, apart. Anyway, there is a picture of Vrindavan. That picture, there is a temple This temple was first constructed by Sanatana Goswami. That is the oldest temple in Vrindavan, not less than 500 years old, and it was desecrated by the Aurangzeb, Emperor Aurangzeb. So then another new temple is now constructed where Madan Mohan is residing. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu authorized Sanatana Goswami to go to Vrindavan and excavate the city. Before Lord Chaitanya, the places of pastimes of Lord Krishna was forgotten. People knew only that in these waters Krishna was born and his pastimes was played here, but no particular places were excavated. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Sanatana Goswami, the importance of that tract of land known as Mathura Vrindavan became very important. The importance of that city is due to the Sanatana Goswami, because Sanatana Goswami was authorized to go there and establish temple. So after Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, hundreds and thousands of temples were constructed, and there are at least 5,000 temples now after Sanatana Goswami. Ratri divase loke suni kolahal, Varanasi chari Prabhu aile nilachal. At Banaras, he was overcrowded with persons always. There was tumultuous sound, Hare Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Banaras and came back to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri and Banaras is not less than about 800 miles distance. So in those days there was no railway, no other conveyance, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to travel through the jungles, and he came back to Jagannath Puri. Ei lila kahiba age vistar kariya, sankhebe kahilang ya prasanga paiya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus came back, and the author says that after this incident we shall discuss in another chapter about the activities of Lord Chaitanya, and so far his Benares visit was concerned, and this is the end. Ei pancha tattva rupe Sri Krishna Chaitanya Krishna Lam Prem Diya Vishwa Kailatanna. In this way, pancha tattva, these 5 pictures you have seen, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda, they inaugurated these movement of Krishna consciousness 500 years before, and it is predicted here that this movement will sanctify the situation of the whole world. Ei panchatattva Sri Krishna Krishna Nam Prem Diya Vishwa Koila Dhanna. He has already impregnated this seed, just like Thakur Bhaktivinoda said in 1896, he sent the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message to McGill University. That book we have seen, the letter was there. And these are coincidences. Now after so many years, a servant of that disciplic succession has come here again to preach. So these things are significant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu practically shown the seed of this Krishna consciousness, and it is spreading, and it is sure it is spread. Now it has come to your country, and I am sure the students who are taking very seriously about this movement, they will spread in the Western world. So, Mathurate Pathaila Rup Sanatan. Now, this is incidental that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Sanatana Goswami to Vrindavan, and other Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Mathurate Rup Sanatan, Dui Senapati Kaila Bhakti Pracharam. Senapati means these two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, were appointed as the commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief in this fighting with Maya. This Krishna consciousness means it is declaration of fighting with Maya. Maya is killing all the poor conditioned souls, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared war against Maya by spreading Krishna consciousness. And the commander-in-chiefs are Rup Sanatana. In other words, if anyone wants to be expert in Krishna consciousness to fight with Maya, they must follow the principles of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. There is a very nice song sung by one poet, Vaishnava poet. He is singing like this. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sari, Hari Hari bolite nayane bhave ni. He is aspiring that when I shall loudly call Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga is Lord Chaitanya, and the body will be shivering, and when I shall chant Hare Krishna, or tears will flow down from my eyes. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharir, Hari Hari bolite nayana bhave ni, aar kabe nitai chand karuna karibe. And when I shall be favored by Nityananda Prabhu, aar kabe nitai chand karuna karibe, sangsar vasana mor kabe tuchcha habe. When I shall be detached from material enjoyment. Vishaya chariya kabe shuddha habe mon. And when I shall be detached from this material enjoyment, my mind will be purified. My mind will be free from all contamination of material dirty things. Kabe hama herava Sri Vrindavan. And at that time it will be possible to see Vrindavan. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Harive Akuti. Now here the author, the singer says that when I shall be too much devoted, I shall be too much devoted to the principles of Rupa Goswami, so that I will be able to understand what is the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. In other words, if we want to understand Radha and Krishna and Chaitanya philosophy, then we should try to follow the instruction left by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They are the commander-in-chief in this movement. Nityananda Gosai Pathaila Gurdesha. So Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were sent to Vrindavan, and Nityananda Prabhu was sent to Bengal, that you go and preach there. Teha Bhakti Pracharila Ashesh Vishesha. And in Bengal, this Chaitanya philosophy is taught by Nityananda Prabhu and his disciplic succession. Apane Dakshin Desh Karila Gavan, Grame Grame Karila Krishna Nam Prachara. And he himself went to the southern part of India and he preached this Krishna consciousness from village to village, town to town. Setubandha Pajjanta Kaila Bhakti Prachar, Krishna Prem Diya Kaila Savar Vistar. Setubandha means Cape covering. She went up to Cape covering and to northern India and up to Vrindavan. I do not know, he went to the Punjab side, but up to Vrindavan, Delhi, and beginning from Delhi up to practically the whole length of India, he traveled through Maharashtra and other provinces. Krishna Prem Diya Koila Sabha Nista. So practically the whole of India was surcharged with this Krishna consciousness during the starting of this movement in India by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Eita kahila pancha tattir vyakhyan yar savane hai Chaitanya tattva gyan. Now the author summarizes that these are some of the activities of Lord Chaitanya, and one who will hear these activities, he will be elevated in Krishna consciousness and the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaita Tinjan Srivas Gadadhara Dijato Bhaktavan. Now the author humbly presents himself that Lord Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, in these 5 personalities, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of these 5 personalities. Jai Chaitanya Kahi Kichu Chaitanya. Therefore, if I have got faith in these 5 personalities, then it will be possible for me to describe something about Lord Chaitanya. Because he is writing this book, it is description of Lord Chaitanya. So he is humbly presenting himself before. This is Bhakti Marga. He is not proud that he is very learned man. He can very nicely comment. No. He is just trying to follow the footprints of his predecessors. This is the way of disciplic succession. Sri Rupa Raghunath Padejare Chaitanya Chaitamrita Kahe Krishna Das. He is summarizing at the end of each chapter. He says, my respectful obeisances are unto Rupa Goswami and all other Goswamis, so that I may be able to describe the activities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you very much.